Hi everybody and welcome back to Daddy's Dishes. For this dish we're doing steak carnitas. What I generally start with is 10 to 12 thin cut steaks. For this recipe I used sirloin, so it's a little bit harder cut of meat, but I went ahead and just used a pounder to kind of tenderize it. Now it's on to seasoning our steak. What we're going to use here is a mixture, and you can see the website for a little more detail on what we use, but it's really just a mixture of different chili powders. Make sure to coat both sides of the steak evenly, and then you're going to take everything and put it into a big Ziploc bag, and then this is what we're going to use for our marinade. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and put in 10 cloves of garlic, and then I put in my minced onion. Add in your cilantro. You can use a rough, coarse chop here for this. I'm using one of those knives that I got that basically has that coating so that nothing sticks to it. You can pick these up at Target. They're about 10 bucks, and they're pretty decent chef knives, and they stay pretty sharp. We're going to go ahead and get all that cilantro in there, and then we're going to add in a couple of extra ingredients. I took some oranges from our backyard and I just cut them up. This isn't exactly a necessity because we are going to use orange juice as well, but I just added it in for a little flair for the website. Also follow it with a cup of orange juice, and make sure that you use some decent orange juice and use something that's pulp free. Mix all the ingredients around in the bag. You're going to want to clean off the seal of the bag and make sure that you get a nice seal. And then you want to get all the air out. So just squeeze it down and get all the air out of that bag. Take your Ziploc bag and fold it over, and then you could just throw it in the fridge like this, but if you're a little worried that the bag might leak with all that orange juice, you can just put it in another dish. Throw it in the fridge, let it marinate for a good 4 hours. You can do less, but I chose to do about 4 and it worked out well. Now we're on to our radish salsa. What I'm showing here is that you just want to use a real super thin cut on the jalapeno. You can use a full jalapeno if you want to, if you like it extra hot, but I was feeding the whole family here, so I just chose to use about half a jalapeno. I also took about 6 to 8 radishes, and I cut those extremely thin as well. Throw everything in a bowl. We're going to end up just mixing this around and throwing it in the fridge. And then go ahead and take your quarter minced onion, throw that in on top as well. Add in about a quarter cup of chopped up cilantro, and this is just going to sit there in the marinade and it's going to get softer as we go. Now we add in a little bit of seasoning. For this one I went ahead and put in 2 tablespoons of chili powder and half a tablespoon of cayenne pepper. You can leave the cayenne out if you don't like it as hot. Also put in just about a pinch of oregano, and then put in some salt to taste. I used about half a teaspoon of salt here for this one. And voila, our finished product. It's looking good. Well, almost finished. Now we have to add in our lemon juice. Make sure that you keep the seeds out, but you can use about 2 to 3 lemons for this one. I also added in about half a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar. Just take this, mix all your ingredients around, get the salsa going, and then just go ahead and throw that in the fridge. Next up, we're going to make a little side dish. This is going to be our refried beans with chorizo. My wife and I started going out to a couple restaurants that were actually putting chorizo in the refried beans, and we really liked it, so we're stealing the recipe here and kind of doing our own thing with it. But basically you just use about a quarter pound to half a pound of chorizo, depending on how much you like chorizo. And then go ahead and take 1 15-ounce can of refried beans and just start adding it in after the chorizo is cooked. You don't need to add any extra oil into this because the chorizo has plenty in it. But you just stir it around, add a quarter cup of water, and then add cheese to your liking. I also grabbed some pickled jalapenos and throw those in a dish and just get them waiting for the rest of the food. At this time I'm going to go ahead and grab my steak out of the fridge, get it on the grill. You want your coals to be super hot, and then you're just going to do this to taste. We like our steak medium to medium rare. I'll tell you, for this recipe, it came out, tasted really good, but I overcooked the steak a little bit. So go easy, because remember, these are thin cut pieces of meat, and as you can see, I had a pretty hot fire going here on my grill. After your steak rests for a couple minutes, go ahead and start chopping it up into little cubes. And then at this point, you'll see what we've got here. We've got our radish salsa, our steak, and our chorizo refried beans. Enjoy.